I bought this wrecked and abandoned Toyota Supra up in New York and drove it here to Birmingham, Alabama, where it still is wrecked. The goal of this video is to fix the crash damage and repaint it by myself here at the shop back to Renaissance Red, which is its original color. Now, I've never painted a car by myself, so hopefully this is not one huge mistake. The last video I did on this Supra was when we went to New York and purchased it sight unseen, and then drove and drug it over 1,000 miles home, and over 1.2 million of you watched along and said since I rescued this car from the weeds it was sleeping in, I should now restore it. And I agree that this legendary JDM icon should be brought back to its former glory, and we can do some tasteful upgrades along the way. Alright, let's see how bad this car is really wrecked. So one of the reasons I was worried about buying this car is obviously there's some sort of suspension or frame damage going on, and this body kit is molded on, which means they use body filler to mount the body kit, and there's no telling what all is hiding under this and how bad this damage could be. But to get this fender off, we have to take this rocker molding off, or side skirt, and it's literally molded to the car. So this is gonna be interesting having to rip this off. Here we go. Oh. Whoa. Yep. There it is. And it's actually not rusting under there. That's very impressive for being bare metal. Well, this is off to a interesting start. Look at that. Dented out the fender. Oh man, this is on there. Heavily glued on. I really want to see what's hiding under here, how much body filler there is. Yikes. Here goes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got some Bondo, fiberglass mat. This stuff is stuck on there, hardcore. Wow. What have I done? Oh no. Let's see what kind of damage is under the fender. good news is, other than part of the fender kind of stuck, a little bit of damage over here to this upper rail, but not as bad as I thought it would be. The problem is still could be this frame rail, so we need to dig deeper. The first thing I want to do is see if I'm able to pull out and fix this massive dent in the quarter panel. I would much rather replace the whole panel, but it's easier to find a leprechaun than one of these, and when they do come on the market, they're over $3,500 and they're sold within minutes of them listing it and often turn into a bidding war.
So this dent is not going to come out till this is out. This is pushed in, so I don't damage the inner lip. I'm going to use this guy. So once this is out, that should relieve pressure to get this dent out. And then we can worry about the big picture up here. See how far in that goes. So that's a rather large gap down here. There we go. Now this dent should want to come out now.
From what little experience I've had with heavily damaged panels, I noticed when you hop around on the damage and slowly move it out, the final result is much better versus pounding away at the same spot. Again, it's all about removing pressure points, and the steel does have a memory to it, so it does like to go back to its original form.
We got lucky. I got an access hole here through the brake vent duct. I can get pretty far with a hammer back here.
I was able to get to a small portion of the back with a body hammer, but it wasn't quite enough, so I need to strip this panel down to where we can weld and pull it from the outside. This is where I realize how many layers of paint are on this Supra and how this quick damage repair and repaint is looking like a massive project and a huge can of worms. If you're wondering how much material was on this small section that I just removed, well, here you go.
These are called wiggle rods because they wiggle. And we're gonna lightly weld these all the way across. So we'll go across and do the whole panel. And I'm gonna hop around so I don't heat it up too much.
Let's do this. Oh yeah. Yes. Come on, baby.
Patience, patience. We're getting there.
With the dent on its way out, I hop around some more and pull in various low spots to try to pull it all out together. Again, my idea is to not pull the same spot over and over, but to work it out as a whole, one little bitty piece at a time. Thankfully, this seems to be working very well.
Alright, after hours and hours and hours, this is where we're at. It might look just like a completely totaled car still, but this metal has been pulled out extremely far and almost where it goes. Remember how much of a gap we had before? Let's try this now. We're not talking inches anymore. We're talking very minute amounts.
I kept trying different repair methods, and I even modified a hammer to fit behind the panel. Now I'm super happy that it now appears this quarter panel has been saved, and the final metalwork on it can be done later on because we're going to repaint this whole car, which means we have to strip it all down, and we'll most likely find hidden dents that need to be metalworked as well.
How many layers of paint factory E-coat, then gray primer, then a red base coat, then a clear coat, and then they painted it black. Heavy sealer, blue pearl, and then clear coat.
With all 8 layers of paint stripped off, it really sank in of how big of a project this has become. To strip all the paint down on the rest of the car is going to be a massive undertaking, but totally worth the time investment due to the rarity of these Supras, and nice examples sell well over $100,000, so it makes sense to put in the time and the money. And this is where we're at with it today. And this is a fresh coat of PPG epoxy primer. Therefore, it's not going to rust while it sits here. I want to strip down the rest of the car so we can do final metalwork and bodywork. And for that, all the trim pieces must be removed. The mirrors, glass, everything.
There's a lot of dog and all the cracks and crannies. And look at the wheel. The wheel is dirty.
Before I dig any deeper, this dirty girl needs a bath. Now we need to discuss something. I have a problem called the "while I'm in there" syndrome. So looking at this Supra, it had a dented quarter panel and fender. Normal people would fix those 2 parts, repaint the whole left side so the paint matches, and they would be happy. But because the rear bumper had to be removed and it was molded to the car, it broke the paint off the right rear side quarter panel, so it needs to be repainted now as well. So while I'm in there repainting over half the car, we might as well repaint the whole car, and since we're repainting the whole car, we might as well paint it back to the factory Renaissance red color so it matches the floor pans that are still red. And while we're in there repainting the whole car, we might as well fix all the dents and dings. Okay, now hopefully you understand why I'm just going ahead and repainting this whole car, since a lot of these door jambs and rear tail pan, and as you can see the rear floor pans, it's all red and it's gonna bother me if it doesn't all match. There are so many components that make up an automobile, and these all have to be removed in order to prep the surfaces for our fresh red paint and to physically get the paint onto the car that's hidden under all these shields and components. And for the new paint to adhere, bond, and stick, it must be applied to a clean and sanded surface so it can grab onto it and stick. Think of it as trying to get Velcro to stick to a smooth surface. It's just not gonna happen. And as we remove more and more pieces, you can see where it previously was not removed, where there's still red paint hiding. So that's why we're gonna disassemble this all the way to give it a nice and proper paint job. This is a pet peeve of mine when like a car's red and a whole new color that just clashes and does not look well together. That's why I want to paint this car back to Renaissance red. I love the color. It's bright, as sporty as everything a Supra should be. And this drives me crazy. Little fun fact, this is a homemade moisture barrier. It's what they do from the factory to keep moisture from coming in the car and fogging up your windows and stuff. Something discussed commonly in the Supra community is how long it takes to unbolt the targa. It is not latched on, and the Fast and the Furious made everyone think that these are, you just pull a latch and it flies off. That is not the case. There's 4 hex head bolts and a lock to get this sucker off. It takes a while. Oh my gosh, there's a bird in here. Oh, whoa. That's not good. Hey buddy, you wanna get out? Go other way. Oh, you're almost out. No, wrong way. We'll be right back. The bird finally went outside. I had to put my bumper stands right there, give it something to land on. They usually go right back out. That one wanted to hang out.
Until last time it was painted, these weren't removed and they got paint just flaking off. So we're going to correct that. It'll be all nice and clean when you open up the door and look in the door jamb. It's the little things in life. I've gotten pretty good at removing windshields. It is and will always be scary. On a Google search, this is the first windshield tool that comes up. I think I got it on Amazon, and I swapped out the blade with a Ultra Whiz, I think. It's an American-made blade. It's really sharp.
I started cutting into all the old windshield urethane and was having a really hard time. Now, one of the things I've learned over years of working on cars is you have to know when to stop and walk away, and this was giving me a really hard time. I didn't want to break the glass. Ooh, there's my butt crack. So that's what I did. I just stopped and figured this would be a problem for another day.
If you look closely and see all these bubbles under the paint, well, I have a feeling that's rust. Let's take our little universal weather strip out very carefully and not break the back glass. Yeah, look, you can see where water just sits in here. That's not helping anyone or anything. Oh, yes. Oh. That's why it's bubbling, because it's destroying itself underneath the paint. We'll get into that later when we start really getting into the metal work and treating this metal. I don't know what that was. No, you haven't seen the funny part yet. Look at all that. They sold out at Walmart of all the little circle Velcro pieces.
Bro, it was all Velcroed in there.
Yeah, look at that. And it still was sagging.
Hey, A for effort.
I love this. This is so creative.
At
By the
its
way,
finest.
speaking of engineering, the hatch is in really bad shape. Will, you show them.
We're looking at a left-hand drive hatch with a wiper delete that was moved to the other side.
So we need to replace that. The whole hatch now has been quite compromised. Look at those big boys. Those are some big JBLs. Those should
Factory JBL soap?
yeah, that should beat down the block, huh? We got a lot of wiring to get out. Oh my gosh, there's so much to do. There is so much work to do. There is so much work to do. And that's all I got to say about that. I found some things under the seat. So this is from New Zealand. That is 10 pence, maybe? And that is some spare wiring we have rolled up. Oh, it goes somewhere. Oh, it goes back here. Oh, it goes to nothing. Okay, cool.
Grab my strong hand.
Well, we have lots of questionable wiring going on under the passenger side, which is the left side on this right. What is this? We have our speed limit differential here. This might be some kind of rev thing or something to bypass with the stock ECU. If you saw the video where we went from New York to here, we had some wiring issues under the dash because it's a rat's nest, and I've got a few things out, and it's still, there's still a little mess, and by little I mean a lot.
A majority of these 1990s and 2000s cars that I've worked on have been through countless different owners and workshops over the years, where many additional accessories are added over time, such as security systems, audio systems, gauges. So when it's done in stages by different people, this is usually the end result, and no one is particularly at fault here because most of the time this stuff usually works just fine. It just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing.
This is definitely aftermarket. This is, okay. That's the main brain for the security system and a cool little antenna on it. That was tucked way up in there.
This aftermarket security system that was added in certainly does not look very pleasing, but it did work and the car never burned to the ground, so I don't want to throw any shade.
It looks really crazy, but it's not that crazy. We just need to find what they did and reverse it. What we're gonna do here is do all this. Then we're gonna attempt to start the car again. That's why I'm leaving everything running. So we'll be able to go back here in a second once all this is out and make sure the car still runs. Have a much cleaner look under here, and I cleaned this up the best I could, and again just reversed what they did. Hey, we got a light here. So now the moment of truth. Will this car start up? I sure hope so. Oh boy, I heard nothing. Not even a fuel pump. Well, it's running. Okay, please stay running. We got a tachometer. I did not hear a fuel pump, and the fuel pump's right there, like wide open. It's got to be running or shut off by now. Actually, man, this thing runs so smooth. Okay, I think the car's happy. There's still a few wires going to nothing I need to take out. But, hey! See? Alright, I think it's happy. Dude, it sounds so good. This engine's great. Alright, and now we got no more turbo timer. Maybe it will just turn off now. That is good. We don't have to hit the trunk button to turn the car off anymore. I think we're good.
It still runs as smooth as it did the day we picked it up.
It does.
All right, life is good. With summer coming to an end, there's a lot of back to school expenses, prepping for the upcoming holidays, or these high gas prices are causing a big financial stress on a lot of people right now. But thankfully today's sponsor, Clover, has you covered. It's an app that you can download on your phone that allows you to advance up to $750 of your next payday. There's nothing slimy or hidden here. No interest, no credit check, and no late fees. Whether you need extra cash for that last summer vacation, groceries, or your simple project car turned into a full-blown restoration like me, Clover has you covered. You can wait just a few days for your cash advance or pay a small fee and get it deposited instantly. Unlike other apps, there's no monthly membership fee to get in advance. Clover is on a mission to end predatory lending by offering a safe, transparent, and fair alternative to everyone out there. Once you download Clover on your phone, it's super easy to get started. Answer a few questions, create an account, link your bank account, and you're ready to go. So again, if you're short on cash, you can advance up to $750 with no credit checks and no late fees. All you have to do is click the link in the description below to get started today, and they will know that I sent you guys over. Help relieve financial stress with Clover, and we thank you, Clover, for coming back and sponsoring yet another video. I love what y'all are doing. Now, let's get back to this Supra. Now, for the first time, we can get this car up on the lift and inspect everything underneath and see what I've gotten myself into, and hopefully no more surprises. All right, let's see what's under this car to see what did I buy. Oh, well, first we still have vines. We'll clean those up. Some good old Long Island vines. There's our, those are some really nice looking shocks. They rode really well. So I like those with the lowering springs compared to a full-on coilover, but you can achieve those results with the right springs. But this is what we were concerned with, this wheel being bent in. And I'm still convinced what we measured up at Tony Angelo's that this whole cross member is potentially bent inward. Oh, look at that. You see where it slid the cross member on the bolt right there? See that? It slid on that. Oh yeah. You see where it slid right there where that clean paint is? So this has shifted. We got some oil leaks. I'm not anticipating a lot of rust under here. That's a lot of oil. Where is it coming from? Ooh, that's the turbo drain line up there. That is where the oil goes from the turbos back into the oil pan. Seems to be leaking very well. And there is our V160 transmission. So this is a 6-speed Get Rag transmission. These are known to be extremely strong, handle well over 1,000 horsepower. Really nothing to be concerned with. I don't see like rust holes anywhere. And our pinch welds and floor pans. So far, rockers, extremely solid. Not soft and rusty, so that is great news. Oh, that's, our frame rails look good. Pinch welds over here. That is amazing. Oh, that's so good. Thank you. A little bit of surface rust. That is absolutely nothing. Just various dirt and mud splatter under here. This is how you set your alignment, the front camber up here. This clocks and rotates, and as it spins, this oblong, so it'll push the lower controller out or in. So we could probably manipulate the camber if we needed to. Same over here. All that looks just fine. But those shocks must not have many miles on them. We got a factory mid pipe here. And then our aftermarket Kakimoto exhaust. It's got some age to it. It's got some scrapes. But again, our rockers and floor pans, our normal rust spots are not rusty. So this car is solid. New Zealand, thank you for having solid vehicles down there. And ooh, baby, this is a 220 millimeter differential. And oh boy, that's so many millimeters. And these huge fins are the dead giveaway. This is a big differential is what they call it. And a little nerd fact, this subframe are out of a 1997 and up car because it only has one bolt here and one there, where the 93 to 96 have 2 bolts and 2 bolts. So this car is a 93. The rear subframe, diff, transmission, engine are all out of a 97 up. There's a lot of mud like it's been here in the South, but this just needs a really good cleaning. Another thing to really check on every vehicle is the rear body. This is the rear body panel. These all appear to be factory spot welds. The caps for the impact bar are not smashed in. Not smashed in, don't ever look replaced. So that's why they swapped everything from the turbo car into this non-turbo shell, because it's so stinking clean. I get it now. I see why they did it. This is phenomenal. I mean, it's dirty, but hey, it's not bent and it's not rusty. I'm ecstatic. There is some work to do down here, but it's quite solid. While the car is relieving itself, I'm gonna come in here and use some penetrating lubrication on pretty much every bolt that we'll be undoing. Come on now. Yes, good aim. After purchasing the Supra, I got in touch with the previous owner in New Zealand. This car started its life in Japan, then went to New Zealand, then New York, and now here in Alabama. All right, let's loosen these subframe bolts and just see if anything happens. See if it pops back. Oh, those are, we need the big impact. I got out the, I wasn't asking impact, I'm telling you to come loose. One of the bolts, well, it kind of like centered itself back. I think we need to change out this subframe. With the subframe loose and the penetrating oil soaking in underneath the car, I start removing the radiator and unhooking everything up top from the engine so it can be removed and we can strip the engine bay of all the blue paint. The plan here is to drop the engine out of the bottom. Try to not smack myself in the face this time. Ow! Ugh. Getting out the last subframe bolts, and we should be able to raise the body of the car up, and the engine and transmission should stay where they are. Forgot the nuts on the strut. Let's try it again. Take two. Steering shaft. All right, I got the steering shaft out of the way.
Steering shaft is officially out of the way on this right-hand drive unit, which I think is really saving us because it's very clear on this side. If you guys see anything that's not connected, just put it in the comments and I'll see it after it's done. I don't see or hear anything ripping. That could change after I eat Taco Bell here in a minute if they're still open. Yes! Boom! I did not rip any wires out. It's definitely not 2 in the morning. Look at that! Look at this! This is a bare shell. It is very bare. I feel like this is quite an accomplishment, so I'm gonna go get that Taco Bell now, and we'll get back on this tomorrow. Oh, yeah!
We can now take a moment to appreciate the stupendous engineering behind the almighty 2JZ power plant before we move on to removing the rear subframe for a good cleaning, because while I'm in there, we might as well remove it.
The trick here is doing this under the car. I'm able to see the bottom of the subframe, whereas this was out of the car. I'd have to flip it upside down and all over the place, and that's not ideal. So that's why we're gonna disassemble it down here. It makes life so much easier.
Since this paint job has come this far, we might as well go ahead and remove this rear subframe for a good inspection and a heavy cleaning and painting before reinstalling it. So we came this far, why not? The nuts and bolts on this rear subframe were a little corroded because the Toyota Supra that all this stuff came from was completely rusted out, hence everything being swapped into this nice, clean, solid shell. Thankfully, the penetrating oil and the right tools prevented anything from stripping out.
That is a big boy. You are a big boy. Alright, a little fun fact. These are usually seized, but I put a lot of penetrating oil on the spawns of this axle, and I have a big, thick punch and a big hammer. They call these BFH, which stands for... Oh yeah, we're good. Man, this one was not seized at all. That is surprising, being this car was in New York. Oh, cool. Yo, check it out. These are RSR springs. I believe that's a Japanese company known for making really good parts. So these are indeed low-ring springs. I figured the way the car was sitting. These are nice, high-quality springs. I don't see a brand name on the shock, but like I said, they rode really nice, so I'm gonna keep rocking these.
Another tip for you all is on these particular brake rotors and many other, there is a M8 by 1.25 thread pitch hole that you can simply tighten a bolt into and it will help take the brake rotor off. This prevents you from having to hit it with a hammer and damaging the brake rotor. 16-year-old me did not know that and ruined quite a few brake rotors in the past. With the emergency brake cables hanging down, we're now good to remove the 4 subframe bolts that mount it to the body. Now since I took the differential out already, I don't have a central balance pivot point to lower it down on, but fortunately my little pea brain found a way to slowly lower this down. Now back in high school, I used to go to the gym, and if I still did, I could easily manhandle this down, because also back in high school, I could bench press 350 pounds and throw a pigskin over this mountain. I have absolutely no reason to take this fuel tank out of the car other than it's the only thing left under here and it's really dirty and I want to clean it. There we go, we're good. Maybe. Yeah, it came right out. And that's it. Back on the top of the car, the fuse box, wiring, air conditioning system, and the whole brake system are taken out so they don't get overspray on them, and we can paint underneath and behind them, leaving no blue paint left behind.
Well, this is coming along. Only, it's escalated a little bit, you know. It's full-on Cadillac itself to taking the whole car apart, except the dash. So I'm just gonna pull that out so we can clean and inspect it. How many shops do you think this car's been in, Scotty?
30, 40?
I mean, at least
What do you
40
think?
shops. And like shipping containers. It's gone across the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
If this car could talk, it would be a really long and interesting podcast, but since it's gone all over the world and it's 33 years old, I want to check over every piece of it, because the average life expectancy of a car is 16 years, so this Supra has already doubled that, and it could do it again if we do a proper job here. This is the HVAC box, which is the heater core, air conditioning condenser, blower motor, and defrost comes out here, AC comes out here. And these are notoriously never fun to pull out of any vehicle because you have to take the whole car apart, as you see, but I think I have all the bolts, maybe all the wires, maybe. These are very fragile. This needs to be thoroughly cleaned. There we go. And that's why changing a heater core is hard on any car, because they're always buried in here. I finished removing a few more components, and you can see all the added sound deadening on the floor, which is really nice because while driving this car, I noticed it had way less cabin noise compared to other Supras that I've driven, so I'm actually going to clean it up real good and leave it in here. I then got a call from Will, and he said for my birthday he was bringing his friend over to the shop to help me out. I thought that was strange because I'm still a married man, even though my wife's BMW convertible is still broken down in Florida from our last video. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who recommended us things to try to fix on it.
And the windshield's coming out. Look at that. Oh, dude, that right there. Would that stick to a shower wall by any chance? I'm asking for Will.
Bro, leave me out of this.
Sorry, you're catching strays today, boy.
Someone's got to catch them.
All right, how are we doing on our 24-hour timeline over here? Yeah.
I think the batteries died.
Yeah. Mine or the sun's?
Both.
Yes, yes. What do you call this method? What do you call this kit for anyone who wants to attempt this on their own?
This is a WRD orange bat.
Dang. R.I.P. Ozzy.
Too soon.
Got the drill dough.
Always.
It's tightening up. And...
This appears to be way less effort and energy than the method I was using.
Look at that. Wow.
Eat stuff.
That was cool. But, gotta fix that rust. And that rust, it seems to have made a little hole right there. Which, that's the only rust holes I've seen in this whole thing. The Drains for the roof were clogged up, so that's probably what caused that right there. So don't forget to clean those drains, snake them out.
At this point, I'm very happy that Will decided to surprise me by bringing his friend over who does glass work because it saved me a ton of time and energy. Now, this glass is not easy to come by, so I really did not want to break it.
That's what's up. Yes.
We are about to turn a huge page. This car looks as horrible as it is ever gonna look. From this time on, it is gonna look better and better every minute that goes by. For you all, for me, it's a lot of really dirty, brutal work, but I'm here for it. I'm gonna make this Supra great as it once was. This Supra is stripped down to the bare bone. Now, I feel like it was necessary to go this far on the car, but I would really like to know what you guys think. Comment below if you would have done the same thing if you were in my situation, or if you just would have driven it as it was. And also, now would be a great time to hit that subscribe, like, and the hype button if you haven't, if you are enjoying this content, and I really appreciate you all continuing to be here on this journey with me. And now I'm drenching the whole floor pan with this degreaser to help break up all this grease, gunk, dirt, and anything else that has been captured up under this Supra.
Ugh, 33 years of probably axle grease right here from the CV joints melting away. Oh yeah, it's definitely had a CV joint or differential seal leaking. Diff fluid all over this. Not anymore. Dude, this is so satisfying, getting to clean every square inch of this car.
Ever since I was a little kid and first started cleaning cars, I always wanted to be able to easily access the underside to properly clean them up, and now here we are doing it. I probably should have had bigger dreams and aspirations, but I really do love bringing these cars back to life and making them look like new again. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm doing something good in the world by keeping these cars on the road and making them fresh again. Speaking of staying fresh, if you enjoy cleaning videos as much as I do, sit back and relax because this part of the video is for you.
I just found these 3D glasses. They were in this hole. Real 3D.
Now that the bottom has been thoroughly cleaned, I lowered it down to inspect the top and see how much pressure washing I need to do up here, and the answer is all of it. Same as the bottom, I soak everything in degreaser just to help break things up because my pressure washer is really weak. It's only a 24 gallon per minute if I remember correctly, and I should probably upgrade that with how many gunky cars I've brought into this shop. Thankfully, a lot of this paint is coming off with a pressure washer, but that makes me wonder if I had a better one or even a steam cleaner pressure washer, if I could have stripped more paint off with that. At this point, maybe it should have been sandblasted, but that makes such a mess and it's very expensive to have it done these days. I sped up the drying process with my air blower and wanted to make sure all the drains, bolt holes, and little crevices were properly dried and cleaned out. Now we can really see how solid this frame is with all the grime removed, while the body still needs many hours of labor, and there are a couple of dents and areas that need some cleaning up under here. At least we know this car is totally worth putting the love into it. This is one of the small spots that needed some cleaning up. There's just random little pieces of rust here and there, but nothing serious. It's all pretty surface level. After grinding away everything I can, all the scaly stuff, I go over it with some Ospo rust treatment stuff that does a chemical reaction and just keeps it from ever coming back. I let it sit 24 hours, wipe it off, and put fresh paint on it so it'll never happen again. And somehow there's a massive dent in the trunk floor pan, so now I'm gonna hammer this out and straighten it out, because again, while we're in here, we might as well fix this dent that nobody's ever gonna see. Speaking of things that nobody will ever see, I wanted to remove this aftermarket universal exhaust hanger bracket that was welded to the frame rail and smooth this area out with my air-powered belt sander and put some fresh paint on it to make sure this rust was not going to spread over the years to come and create a huge hole here. And now that it's all clean, prepped, and the rust areas have been treated under here, I touch up the factory undercoating and I try to keep it where Toyota had it, but I did add a little bit in the seemingly problematic areas just to keep it looking how it was from the factory under here, because they obviously did a great job with these. This has given me a huge motivation boost because we now have a huge success on this big project, and I can already see a massive improvement on this car from what we started with. Now that I'm satisfied with the undercarriage and can sleep well at night, it's time to move on to the final metal work and the bodywork.
Look who's back. We got Jay back. Repping the 808. Hey. All right, so we're doing a little multitasking while he's doing that. I'm going to work on this on other parts of the car so we can speed this process up. As you see, instead of working right now, he's just coloring.
We're coloring in out of the lines.
But I like to see how other people do different methods, even though I've been working alongside Jay for way too long now. I still haven't, found anyone to replace you with.
Good luck. We're just seeing what you didn't fix,
It's a bit.
Yeah.
This is a rough pull, Jay. Talk to me, doctor.
I'm thinking about it.
Thank God we have editing. You want to watch Jay think?
Yeah, this is me thinking out silent. Just a little low, so we can try to get the metal as close as we can.
Okay.
Like we always try to do, aim for, stuff like that. And then just mud this thing over real nice.
Mud it over nice.
Mud it over real nice.
Aiming for perfection here.
What was I saying?
Something about mud? The Mississippi Mud Dogs?
The Mississippi Mud Dads. We're going to draw this line.
Okay.
Draw this line.
Yep.
Maybe add another line.
Uh-huh.
And then we might do some hammering.
Ooh.
I don't know. But first,
The world of the oyster. This is what we do.
Oysters?
Oysters.
It looks like more of the bottom of the ocean, but okay.
If you watched the million-mile Lexus restoration we did here on the channel, then you probably remember that Jay is a master of moving metal around because he took a crumpled up beer can of a fender and made it straight again. But I feel like this one is worse because it does not have access to the back of it like it did when we took the fender off the car. But we'll see what he can do, and I'll start stripping down 8 layers of paint again on various body panels. I take the Targa top roof outside and start stripping it down to see what is going to be the fastest way to get all these layers of paint off this car. And back inside, Jay is busy moving some metal. And this is why I've paid Jay millions and millions of IOUs over the years, because he thinks of new methods I haven't seen before, such as taking the hustler stick, then welding keys onto the panel, run a piece of scrap metal through the keys, and slowly pull the low spots out. Meanwhile, I'll move on to the front with my favorite made German flat bill pliers, or Schwarze Katze as they call them, and I straighten it out and slightly pull on this upper rail. At this rate, with both of us working hard on this car, there's a 1% chance that it could be completed before the next Grand Theft Auto comes out.
So much better.
I hope this shows up as well on camera as it does in person, because this is very impressive and opens up my mind again to how straight you can get the metal before applying body filler. I've rolled the car outside on these little dollies because it's about to get messy. Now, what is a mud hog? Well, they designed these in Mississippi, and it's a direct drive, so it's constantly spinning, where a dual action sander is actually just moving around like this. This is actually just moving. So this will eat into metal. So as soon as I see metal, I'll stop, because this is 40 grit sandpaper and it rips. Well, it's rusting under there. For the most part, most of the car, they did a really good job on. It was properly primed and not doing this. People don't really do it this way anymore. Whoa. Thankfully, this is not eaten through. Where it did adhere real well, the metal looks perfect. Another reason why I didn't just have this whole car sandblasted is I figured there'd be a lot of body filler where this body kit was molded on, and sandblasting does not do a good job of getting big chunks out, and it can actually heat up the metal around it way too much and risk warping the panel, therefore creating more workforce in the long run. Put some 80 grit on here, which is smoother than the 40. Go through and knock this down, knock the rust off the bare metal, but still don't want to stay on the bare metal. Since it's direct drive, I don't want to thin this metal out. There's some sort of glue or caulking that was also holding the body kit on that I'm having a really hard time removing, so I'm having to use a mixture of the wire wheel and the rubber wheel in order to get it off. When working on cars, I'm never scared to experiment and try different things for the situation at hand to see what works best. My goal on the body is to strip it down to the factory red base coat, but there's so many areas where I need to go to bare metal to get rid of hard edges or corrosion, while the rest of it is so dented up and there's high spots. That's why it goes down to bare metal so fast.
It looks so bad, but there's so many layers that we've gotten off the main body. All right, for my engine bay, I'm experimenting with a few different paint strippers because it's really hard to sand all this. You just have to hand sand it, and that ends up taking weeks. And if you have a really good paint stripper you use, please let me know in the comments what it is you use, because I would love to know.
On the right side of the engine bay, I used a store-bought stripper, and on the left side I ordered some stuff on the internet called Cooper's that sprays on, and it seems to be working a lot faster. I think this is one of those situations where you get what you pay for, but they're both getting the job done. This is actually a huge relief to watch the paint just peel off, because I know this is going to save me a ton of hours. This stuff is working way better than the store-bought brand I was using. It's literally just falling off. I'm going to try to just wipe it off with a microfiber. Ooh, hey. Oh my gosh. I tried wiping it down with a red scuff pad and a microfiber, but there's so many layers and it was applied very well, so it's taking a few passes to get it all off. I had to borrow my mom's dishwashing gloves because this stuff was getting on my forearms and it burned really bad, but I don't think my mom's gonna want these back when I'm done with them. I used the stripper on the trunk jamb, the rear body panel, the fuel filler door, and anywhere else that is super hard to sand down and has tight spaces. My favorite part of using the stripper is it's not creating a dusty mess, but I still have to wear a mask. With the top layer of the paint off, it seems to be sanding down to the base coat much faster. got a long night ahead of us.
This was an insane amount of paint materials right here in this dustpan. That's a lot. I've wire wheeled our rust down, but any rust spots I can find, I'm gonna put this on and let it sit for 24 hours and then clean it off so it will no longer rust anymore. A lot of this is just getting cut out, but it's just good practice to go ahead and neutralize it. This will change colors. It will turn black if it is rust. It does a chemical reaction. See a little bit right there? We're gonna... So anyway, sorry to interrupt you guys. So what are y'all up to? We're getting pretty far on the doors. I was just changing pace a little bit and trying to get this base stripped down. I just want to look at this car and not see blue paint anywhere. So what I'm doing here, I have like 180 grit. I really like these. These are expensive. They're like softback sponges though. There's medium for some heavier stuff. And what I'm trying to do here, for example, like if there's blue paint, this is actually totally fine to prime and paint over. I'm just a psycho and I want to like get all these little spots knocked down. So we want to do what we call feathering. So as you see, it's super smooth right here and feathered out. You don't want to see hard edges anywhere.
We're in the weeds, but if you're trying to paint your car on your own, that's the best advice I can give you, is just feather it out and follow those product description sheets. Can't stress that enough. If you can feel it, you'll see it. That doesn't sound weird or anything.
So all these cracks that were in it went all the way through the factory base coat down to the E-coat. So I'm having to feather it. I'm having to go all the way down to the metal, because this right here, you will see that through the paint if I don't smooth that. I can feel it through this glove with my finger.
Now, probably only paint guys and body guys would notice that if you're really looking for it, but I'll know it's there and I don't like that. So this was just supposed to be a respray, but this is what happens when you want to respray it somewhat correctly. There's not one bolt in this car.
I really hope this inspires some of you to tackle some of these projects on your own. It is a ton of time, sandpaper, and other materials, but every painter has said 80% of a paint job is the preparation. Now, this car has been repainted 2 full times that we know of, and they did a great job on it because it was well over a decade ago the last time it was painted, and it adhered very well.
It's looking good. This quarter panel, it needs more than I thought. There's a dent here, a weird one here. There's something weird going on here. There's something weird here. Just a regular dent here, a ding there, small dent there. You can tell this has all been worked. You see body filler there. It's really high right here. It's red under all that blue. See all that right there? It's all rough, hard edges. All this has to be smoothed out even more. Look how like crusty that is right there. You can feel it. So all this has to be smoothed out.
A few years ago, I tried to paint a Nissan in my backyard by myself, and I was able to get it into primer, but I gave up after that because it looked so bad, and a week later it all flaked off when I washed the car. I'm now attempting to get redemption on my first solo paint job, and I know this one is not going to be perfect, but I'm going to work as hard as possible to make this the best I can. I'm having to repair around the left door handle because it's all dented in where it looks like someone tried to break into this car. The right side door looks so crazy like this because I hit it with a Mud Hog direct drive with an 80 grit sand disc on it, but thankfully that seems to be working because the dual action sander is cutting through really fast. I found this used OEM hood down in Florida on Facebook Marketplace, and Jack Builds It, who is also restoring a Supra here on YouTube, kindly picked it up for me before anyone else got to it. We then stored it at the Tavares headquarters where I was able to retrieve it, and now I'm giving it a new home on this Supra. Even though it's already Renaissance red, I do need to fix the small dents in it and paint it with the rest of the car so it all matches.
You can still buy these from Toyota, but they're over $700,
So yeah, I'm gonna try my best to repair these and save a few bucks.
they're pretty rough. They got a lot of body filler in them, a little too thick than it should be. And they also have damage with something else going on. This is plastic. Why is there so much Bondo?
I have been saving these side pods in my stash of parts for a long time, but it seems I probably should have tossed them in the trash a long time ago.
We might replace this. It's already got a hole in it. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze on this guy. That big hole is gonna be hard to permanently fix as well.
While I contemplate spending more money, I decided to go ahead and have a good look at myself in the mirrors and think about what I should do.
We're not supposed to record me taking a mirror apart.
I just wanted to see it when it broke.
I don't want to look like an idiot on the internet. Ah.
Heated mirror? Right?
Yes, heated.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're gonna try something new here. We have this very simple siphoning tool that will siphon this blasting media. So we'll just stick that in there and see what we can do with this hatch, because it's disgusting. It's got a lot of material, a lot of rust, and we need to strip it down and see if this is fixable or not.
I also picked up this hatch while I was down in Florida since our old one has some of the inner structure cut out of it, but I won't know if this one is any better until I strip it down. This sandblaster attachment does seem to be working, but again my pressure washer is not very strong, so I feel like I need to upgrade it before I try it again. And also, this hatch has a ton of layers of paint on it, like every Supra these days.
Many paint jobs to go. If you go through the layer of the crust of the earth here, you'll see, you know, there's over 10 layers here, but smoothing it out. Smooth is the name of the game.
I threw the sandblaster, paint stripper, the mud hog, and the DA. I threw everything I could at this hatch in order to get it stripped down, and it still took, you guessed it, a long time.
I did not keep up with how many hours it took to strip all this stuff down, but it took forever. And I'm very glad that it's now over and we're ready to do metalwork and finish the metalwork.
This calls for another celebration because all the heavy stripping is complete, and that seems to be the most time-intensive part of rebuilding these last few cars. I checked into acid dipping, but I can't find any companies nearby, and maybe I'm being too paranoid that a sandblaster will warp the body panels, and I should try that next time so I can speed this process up.
First thing you do when you're welding on a vehicle is disconnect the battery. There's no battery or wiring or interior to burn. Okay, all right, I'm gonna weld this hole up. Matt and the boys got Bob the welder. Not as pretty as Bob's, but we're getting there. We're learning.
I measure out my new replacement metal, mark it, and then weld it in.
All right, our rust holes are fixed. I still got a lot to learn with the welding, but there's no more holes, and we got our flange back right here. So that can all be epoxied and taken care of. Left side rocker, which this is a passenger side since it's right-hand drive, we got a dent. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm sure you can now. Look at that gap going on. So you can, oh yeah, that needs to be fixed. So we're gonna pull that out. Oh yeah, this is moving good.
A lot of times these rockers are extremely thick with strong structures, especially on target top or convertibles, since all the strength of the unibody is here, and if you get hit on the side, this is a crucial spot to help protect the occupants. But on this car, the outer skin does not seem to be very thick and is moving very easily, so all the strength must be in the inner rocker structure on this Supra.
All right, mixing this up. 2 to 1. Let's go. PPG, epoxy. I love this stuff.
The main goal of this epoxy primer right now is to get it on the bare metal, again, to prevent rust. That is the name of the game.
I like it. It is now sealed off from any further rust or anything. This does a really good job of sealing it. I actually put a lot of this in the rust prone areas like the trays and all that. Turned out pretty good. It was right there where I repaired it. It's not perfect, but that's all metal. We got new parts. Yeah, we went really far, so I was able to get these brand new from Toyota, and they're shiny white. Just have to paint them red, obviously. It's gonna be way better than having to fix this mess of a side pod here.
Since this is basically ADHD garage, I got really tired of looking at this nasty fuel tank, and I'm just dying to clean it up, so I soaked it with degreaser and hit it with a pressure washer. Thankfully, Toyota makes these out of plastic, so they actually hold up really well and they clean up super nice. and they don't rust out because they're plastic.
Our epoxy is finally dry and ready to sand. So now we're sanding this down with 80 grit where we're gonna do our bodywork, but I have to be very careful and try not to sand down past the epoxy into the bare metal. So lightly sanding it, so that way when we come over the top with our body filler to smooth this out, we can have a nice surface for the body filler to adhere and bite into. So we're just gonna skim this over, let it cure, and then block sand it out. And we're essentially doing that over every little ding and misperfection we can find in the metalwork to try to make this Supra look as straight as possible. Basically, you just want to play with it until it gets hard, and then you can sand it down. We're gonna put on this guide coat, which is just a black powder. So that way we can see the highs and lows as we sand it down. If you watch closely as we sand, we'll see it turn super bright colored where we're making contact with this sandpaper, and it stays dark where it's not touching it yet, so we know where our highs and lows are. It's really as simple as that. It's a good visual reference. And we can also feel it with our hand to feel for any dips. We don't want the dips. We want it to be nice and smooth.
This is what I call a rough pass with the body filler. Just need to smooth it out a little more. As you can tell, it's poking through the metal in a couple spots, so just need to hammer those down and we'll be good. You can see what they call a bungholio right here. That's what they call it in the auto body industry. Tell that's a low spot right there. As you rub your hand over it, you can feel it gets low. It's very hard. It's like trying to sand a bowling ball flat, you know what I mean? Know what I'm saying?
I'm installing the doors, fenders, hood, and bumpers and hatch in order to make sure my body lines are straight and lined up and our gaps are correct. I like to do this before all my body filler is done to make sure we don't need any major metal work to correct any issues and all the random surprises and dents this Toyota has given us. We could have another surprise, so I want to play it safe and do this now. I bought these fenders off Facebook Marketplace as well. They were purchased new from Toyota and sat around in a shop for many years, so they got a couple dings in them, but thankfully I was able to get them for way less than the Toyota dealership charges because these are actually still available. So since these hood and fenders are not original to this car and the left front was impacted in the accident, it's critical that we check and make sure these gaps are correct. And since this rocker got a huge dent in it, I want to put the side pod on just to make sure it lines up and it's not sucked in. And then I test fit this fiberglass aftermarket rear bumper that resembles OEM, and we're going to have to do a lot of trimming, drilling, and more trimming to get it to fit correctly. Now I'm gonna fit up our beat up rear hatch. I'm trying to find a new one, but I'm gonna use this one just for reference even though it's in really bad condition. For the first time in what feels like eternity, this actually is starting to look like a Supra again. Here you can see I'm doing yet more sanding to get all these little imperfections and dings out of my marketplace find. It's crazy to think that in the amount of time I've spent rebuilding this car so far, the Toyota assembly line could probably build a few hundred, if not thousands of these in the same amount of time. This is a really neat visual reference right here because when I'm done with a panel, I like to go over it with a soft pad and 180 grit sandpaper before applying a primer or a sealer because it gives it a nice surface to bite into, and you can see what 180 grit looks like from a distance.
Welcome to Elsie's World Hot Rod Garage YouTube channel thing. So I found this in my stash of parts. This is a bumper support bar because this one's a bit rough and this bumper is torn and these don't repair very well. I've been hanging on to this bumper for a long time for no reason, because it's really bad. Whew. So I ordered a new bumper from Toyota, and look what showed up, a brand new Toyota Supra front bumper, OEM. Oh, look at that. Yeah, all right. Just have to, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. That is lean. Welcome to Elsie's What? No, I'm kidding. All right, let's get to it. Supra!
I've also been hanging on to these front headlights for many years, and since our old ones were broken, I replaced them with these.
Here in the South, we call this toe-up.
It's always easy to spot a proper nerd in the wild when you see how excited they get when they get a brand new in the wrapper Toyota part.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. So whenever we have a lot of metal buildup around and a lot of repair work, it's smart to tight wipe it. And what I mean by that is going over the whole thing with body filler in one swoop and really blending it into the panel. It should look fine the way it is, but this is a good way to go over it and make sure it really blends in well, so once it's painted you don't see where the repair was done. I'm gonna go get the new hatch tonight, or used. Hopefully it's straight and in good shape, but it seems to be fine. That'll save us a lot of time from having to repair this one, so I'll hang on to this one for parts if we ever need it. Let's keep going. I want this car in color. In this video, I want some red paint on this thing. Let's do it! It's a wreck in here, as most workshops are. We haven't seen this since we painted the Chevy SS in here. With this massive fan from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Thanks to Justin. The chicken wire helps keep Clint's fingers out of this one so we don't have to go to the ER again. And this used to be the solvent division paint shop, and there used to be a paint booth in here, so that's why there's a massive hole up there, and I taped some
plastic around it, but it kind of formed a hole over the past couple years. But we're using that to our advantage because we have a wind tunnel sucking all the air out, and I have the filtered air going. We've been bouncing around a lot, but mainly just been knocking out this bodywork. Everywhere is closed, and I am out of body filler. As you can tell, this quarter is super close. Oh, hi there. So, we're about to prime some parts. The only thing we won't be able to prime is that left rear quarter. So what we're gonna do is prime what we can. Try to stay ahead of the game here. So that means we gotta take stuff apart, and I only have so much polyester thick primer, so I'm gonna put that on the worst parts, which are probably the doors and target. If I have any left, we'll spray maybe the hood, because that's pretty important. It's about to storm and rain, so we gotta work real fast and get these inside.
This high build primer essentially works as a sprayable body filler, so that way we can spray it on these really rough doors, then put some guide coat on and flat block it down to make sure all the imperfections are out, so we don't have a bunch of squiggly lines in it when you look down the side of this shiny, fresh new paint.
We got a lot of thunder, a lot of nasty clouds rolling in.
I got lucky and got everything primed and inside before all this rain began. I was able to go purchase some new body filler so I can do one last skim coat on this quarter panel and make sure everything is right on it. This is officially the last layer of body filler that I'll be laying down on this Supra.
I put welding wire in here to keep the nozzles from getting clogged with paint. So, yeah, we'll see how those turn out. Well mixed up JP202 high build primer.
So I mix this ratio to make it as thick as possible so I can put a couple coats on these last few parts so I can block everything down together and get any of the small imperfections out of them.
All right, it is the next day. This is kind of the moment of truth when you come in. And well, everything looks pretty good. It's so hot. It's so hot. We're gonna paint. We're gonna paint now. Everything is taking a really long time to cure. It's not really getting powdery. It's clogging up the sandpaper, so we're not able to block what we have yet, probably because of all this humidity. But we have our vent plates masked off. We have all that open holes so we don't blow dust into this. And we're gonna paint the engine bay, and then we're gonna what they call cut in the doors and fenders, which is we paint the jambs. And that is our hatch. As you can tell, there's no holes in it, so that's good. Picked that up off the internet and primed it already. I think I'm mixing just enough paint to paint the engine bay. So hopefully we have enough paint for that. And if there's any left over, we will paint the jambs of the fenders down there.
I'm laying down a light gray sealer here in order to give the red paint a consistent look once it's applied, because if we don't, it can appear blotchy since the paint is slightly transparent and we just need a good backdrop for this red paint to lay on. Also, if you were wondering why the floor is always wet, I keep it soaked as much as possible to help keep the dust down.
This is very exciting. We have our Renaissance red paint. It is beautiful, even just sitting in this can.
such a prestigious name, Renaissance Red. I believe the new Supra you can actually get in this color because it was so popular. Hi, my name's Johnny Knoxville. No, I'm kidding. I've done this like twice.
I usually have someone looking over my shoulder and correcting me when I do something wrong, so it's quite stressful doing this on my own, but I'm trying to stay cool, calm, and focused on getting even coverage of materials on this engine bay and not missing any spots or putting in huge runs in the base. If we run the clear coat, it's no big deal, we can sand it and buff it, but when it's in the base coat, it's a lot more difficult.
Base coat is flashing off. We got 2 medium wet coats. This should do the job. We're gonna spray some clear coat, DCU 2021, my favorite. I'm starting to really get used to the PPG paint and how it sprays out. That's why I use the same brand and a very higher end brand that OEMs use. So this should match up really, really good.
I let the paint cure and came back another day to finish prepping the exterior for paint. We are applying guide coat over the whole exterior and sanding everything down with 400 grit sandpaper to get all the texture and the deep sanding scratches out that you see here. If we follow these steps, we should have a really nice, slick, flat paint job when we are finished, as long as we don't mess up during the spraying process. Obviously, when you have a car with as many dents, dings, and imperfections as this one, it's going to involve a ridiculous amount of sanding to get it straight again. Now, I had no idea that it would end up being months of sanding to get to this point, and I totally understand how these hot rod restoration shops spend multiple years prepping a car for paint to get it perfect and charging anywhere from $80,000 to $250,000 for a top-tier flawless paint job. And I've been asked many times where this Supra has been, and I feel like this should all make sense now why this video took so long to come out, because I've been working extremely hard on this in the background since I picked this bad boy up. And even with all this time and effort and energy I put into it, this car is still not gonna be flawless, but my only hope is it's something that I can be proud of when it's finally done.
I'm actually trying to not recreate the dust bowl in here, so I just rinsed the car and everything off to get all the dust down. I don't want a ton of dust in here. And now I'm gonna wash the car and get all the little contaminants out of it. And I'm gonna use this foam cleaner, like the spray-on kind. It's raining outside, which is either helping us or hurting us, and it's the middle of the night, so it's finally under 80 degrees. But the reason for this is we want to get all the contaminants out and clean it really, really well before we go and wax and grease remover everything. There's just so many little pits and cracks and crevices.
If this step is skipped, then when the air pressure hits the car, a lot of dust will come flying out of all the nooks and crannies and from the inside of the car. I found this out the hard way in my backyard on that Nissan I was telling y'all about.
While everything's still wet, I'm gonna wipe it down with a new microfiber just to try to get any more contaminants out of it.
Oh, it's pretty hot, so everything is drying very fast. Be as clean as possible before wiping it down. This part might be a little overkill, but I'm mixing this with distilled water, and that way we can have a really good like alcohol-based cleaner. We'll put the distilled water in. We're going to carefully measure this, and this will help clean it once again. And the alcohol should help pull moisture out of the primer since it's very, very porous. We are just out here in an open shop doing this. I think I can stay up all night. If I stay up all night, this is painted, and I'm gonna go home and sleep all day.
Even though it's already late, I am very hyped up, and here in this sizzling hot summer, the best temperature to paint in just so happens to be in the middle of the night.
All right, it is 2:40 a.m. Hopefully I'm done before the sun comes up. It feels really good in here. 79. I'm sure there are real painters screaming at me in the comments about something I'm not doing right or how you do things, but don't worry. Jay at Solvent Division will reprimand me when I'm done with this because I will inevitably make a mistake here.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time to lay our base coat.
Come on, y'all. My arm hurts.
It's 5:30 in the morning. We got 2 nice wet coats of base coat per PPG recommendation. It's flashing off. We got a bug. I got some runs up there on the hood. You know, I think it's gonna be okay. It's obviously not perfect. There's some bugs and there's some fish eyes from probably all the humidity and moisture in the airlines, but it actually looks pretty good, pretty uniform. Same with the bumper. I don't see any light spots. I checked it over really well. I think we're okay. Let's lay some clear coat and then I'm going to sleep all day.
The sun is going to be coming up any minute, and after this base coat flashes off, I can then lay down our final layer of material called clear coat, or in the industry we call it the wet wet.
7:30 in the morning. It's daylight outside. Oh, this is so cool. All right, the hood was in a very inopportune spot. I could not see anything when I was painting that, so I really still can't tell if there's texture to it or dry spray. This was the only bad bug. Bad boy. Bad boy. How cool is this? Come on, y'all. My first paint job on my own. I got a lot of runs on the quarters. A lot of runs on the quarters, for sure. Like, the windshield post looks great. I'm cool with that.
I couldn't stop staring at the shiny red paint even after being up for well over 25 hours straight.
I'm happy. All right, and we'll be right back. All right, we're at the shop. It's been a week, so we can now go in here and unlock the door and check the car for the first time. I have not seen it since we painted it. Hopefully it still looks good and there's no runs or anything. Oh my gosh! Someone snuck in here and put the car together. Look at this! Someone put this car together and left the lights on. That is insane. Look at this! Oh man. This makes the past few months absolutely worth it. This is insane to see. Can't wait to see what they did with the 2JZ engine. Oh my gosh! We got no engines, Ted. Okay, we still have a couple things to finish, but thank you all for watching this extremely insane rebuild. The paint job worked. It needs some paint correction, but it worked. We'll do some more stuff next episode to get this car back together. See you there. Well, we got to talk about something. The Nissan Skyline R34 at Copart that I went and looked at has not gone up for auction yet. So we're just gonna have to see. What's that thing from Japan?
Drifting?
Grows? No, the thing that grows.
Oh, kudzu?
Yes. Kudzu.
Yeah.
Luke, I am your father. That was a Star Wars reference. And that's all I got to say about that. Turn it off whenever you feel like it.
Push the button!
Push the button.
Dude, the button's not working.
This is Wolf of Wall Street.
The button's not working.
Hit that. Oh, it's because you're hitting that button.
Oh.
Hit that.